Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Bloom, Group Publisher of Walls and Ceilings, and welcome to If Walls Could Talk. It's such an honor to have with me today two gentlemen. We've got Dan Tinker, the President and CEO of SRS Distribution, and JT Turner, President and CEO of GMS. Dan and JT, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Jill. Good morning.
Yep.
Well,
thank you for having us.
Guys, we've got some big news. I mean, this is really exciting. So Home Depot has purchased GMS. Dan, I'd like to start with you. I mean, tell me, everybody, again, congratulations to both of you, but why do you feel like this was such a great fit for SRS?
Oh, yeah. Well, we've known about GMS for a long time. Both the companies come from kind of the same history. We were both private equity, in fact, owned by the same private equity firm at our earliest years. And in fact, our chairman at one time, Ron Ross, served on the GMS board. So the companies have known each other for a long time. We've had great respect and admiration across the aisle for both companies. You can almost call them sister companies. The way we operate, the value system, the culture, high morale and culture, how we grow through greenfields, acquisitions, same-store sales growth, and digital are all very similar. So as we looked at the landscape of other quality one-step specialty distribution to add to the ever-growing Home Depot ecosystem of pro, which is the SRS arm for the specialty side, we couldn't find a better asset and team of people that we thought would be a great fit. So GMS has been, we've always said that we should put these companies together at some point, but this provided the opportunity to finally do that.
Well, congratulations again. And JT and Dan, I guess it was great to see both of you down at the GMS Expo. An incredible event, JT. There were so many great things there going on. But JT, tell it how are you feeling about everything? Did you feel this was a great fit?
Yeah, well, thank you for recognizing our expo as well. It did go off, extremely well. So maybe I should do a plug here for our team and thank our team for all that good work as well. But again, Dan talked about some of all the key things, in our history and the culture, and both companies are based on just doing the right things. I look at it also from the perspective of, while we both have great strategies and eventually, we're going to bring these things together and make it, have a single strategy for the market for what we do. It's anchored in the customer, and the SRS has been anchored in the customer, for as long as I've ever known them. And we anchor in the customer as well, which means we just think that way first and everything else builds out from there. So I feel like we're not going to run into any kind of situation that can't be resolved because, again, it's all about what's right for the customer, because that's how this business will end up, ultimately being very successful.
Yeah, no doubt. So, well, let's talk about the name because it seems like SRS is everyone that's come on board has become SRS. Is GMS going to stay GMS? Is it going to become SRS? What's any insight on that?
Yeah, it's a great question, Jill. I would say our strategy right now is that each of the verticals we're in will have its own unique name. So GMS has great goodwill and brand power in their space, as SRS does in the exterior space, as Heritage, our outdoor division on the pool and landscape space, has. So we don't call Heritage. We don't plan to ever move Heritage to SRS. We don't plan to ever really migrate GMS to SRS. Now, globally, we will have a brand, a go-to-market for our customers that cross over between verticals. And when we share customers. But again, I think most people know that GMS and SRS and Heritage are all owned by Home Depot and they're all under one umbrella. And then we will have a national account team that can cross over those boundaries and sell from all of the verticals, but they don't need one common brand per se.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, there's a lot of entrepreneurial spirit when it comes to really both companies. How does that integration? How do you plan to integrate those two companies and keep that entrepreneurial spirit?
Yeah, I think one of the surprising things maybe your listeners or the people watching this will be surprised to hear is that the integration will be very light. As Home Depot's integration to SRS over 15 months has been extremely light. It has basically been a low touch, almost a no touch environment where they know what they're good at and they're a great retailer. Now they do have a pro effort that's organically on the Home Depot side, and there are ties that we have to do smart things together to work together with common customers. But the way I think about it is GMS is joining SRS for a reason. They're not another standalone part of Home Depot. And that's because we're all common in what we do. We're all one-step specialty distribution catered to the pro and to the home builders in this country. And that is the future plan. So where integration will come will be things like use of distribution best practices, whether that's the use of AI in distribution, the use of a Salesforce CRM, that we can obviously share common opportunities between large national property owners or large national accounts, but very much on what I'll call the back end of the side. There's not any immediate or near-term plans that we're going to deliver stuff for GMS at SRS or vice versa. Each of the standalone verticals need to be self-sufficient national powerhouse distribution companies in their own right. But there are back office things, whether that's accounting, finance, HR, that we and IT and digital and that we can leverage over a long period of time. But there's no rush to do anything. Goal number one is don't mess up what GMS is doing and don't mess up their secret sauce. Long term, will we look for things that we can work together to be a stronger 1,200 location company that has resources and strengths that others don't have? Yes, but there's no rush to do that out of the gate. First goal is don't mess them up. Second goal is make them faster and take all the things they had tied behind their back by being a standalone public company and make 1 + 1 + 1 = 4, not 3, as you add Home Depot, SRS, and GMS together.
Got it. Well, I'm sure everyone that's listening is excited to hear you say that, because we know, like you've been talking about the customer. That's really what it's all about. But and those are some great messages. But JT, what's your message for the contractor in the short term and long term?
Yeah, again, we're going to focus on doing what's right for them. And where we can leverage this new opportunity and the unbelievable power of Home Depot and SRS across products. As you know, one of our key pillars has been to really drive complementary product sales. Well, we're now part of an organization that has a dramatically larger portfolio of both products and relationships on the supplier side. So I would expect us to be able to greatly advance and improve our strategy in complementary products and move even faster. Same situation Dan just talked about, as well from a capital perspective, from a balance sheet perspective. We were a standalone company. We weren't a small company, $6 billion, but we certainly weren't, $200 billion either, right? So there's a cost of capital, there's a balance sheet opportunity here to grow faster and to be better for our customer as well. So, if you think about all of the different things that Dan just talked about, where the national account opportunity, is dramatic. The large developer and the REIT markets is dramatic for us. These are all things that, we had just dipped our toes into in a lot of ways. And now we can just jump into the deep end, all of the while not screwing up, to Dan's point, that relationship with the local contractor who's primarily an interior guy, right? So we want to make sure that we're better for that contractor and that we don't take any steps backwards to take steps forward. And Dan's approach to this is fantastic. And again, like Dan said, everything I've ever heard from anybody at Home Depot is very light touch as well. So I expect us to just be able to execute better than we ever were before for a number of reasons. Some of, I don't know, I could talk for an hour about the eventual opportunities.
Well,
yeah, and I can add a couple things, Jill, too. Like just some of the things we're working on with Home Depot might surprise some of your listeners too. I mean, we're already starting to extend our trade credit to Home Depot customers, but we're also, our own customers now can go to Home Depot and charge their SRS trade account and buy product from Home Depot at nights or weekends or fill-ins or close. If a Home Depot is closer to the job site than we are, and they just need 3 bundles of shingles and a nail gun, they don't have to come back across to an SRS yard. They can go to a Home Depot, get that, and put it on their trade account. Those are some new synergies that we're already driving out on the SRS that obviously, once we build that competitive stitching with the retail side, GMS can play along in those same opportunities as well very easily, because we've already kind of built out those. The other thing is Home Depot has a huge distribution center network, and we're already starting to leverage that at SRS. So we become much more attractive to our suppliers, because now we can take hundreds of truckloads via rail service to different DCs that we could have never done as GMS or SRS as standalone. And all of that is really already costs that are already borne by the retail side. So it's kind of like a standalone, massive, internally owned two-step distribution network that we can leverage. That's a huge competitive advantage for us going forward. And things like ocean freight, anything JT or I import for our companies now can ride along the rails of Home Depot's ocean freight, for example. And I think they're the second largest buyer of ocean freight in the world. So those are just neat synergies there that people just don't think about right away, that'll help drive operational efficiencies, inventory turns, margin enhancement, better partnering with core suppliers. They're excited that now there's one company that has retail, e-commerce, and distribution all in one place.
Wow, that's really cool to hear. Well, we know how important the customers are, but let's talk for a minute about the employees. What's your message to the employees? I mean, we know sometimes things just get messy when there's acquisitions, but what's your message to the employees that really can help them get excited?
Yeah, I'll start and I'll let JT add. I'll just say our message to the GMS team has been very clear. We need you. We need you all. We didn't buy GMS to make money on cutting costs and taking people out. We bought GMS to try to double the size of GMS alongside of doubling the size of SRS and doubling the size of Heritage at the same time. More acquisitions, more greenfields than ever. Expand the sales force. Our same thing with our commitment to use of AI. It's not in lieu of employees. It's actually to make our employees more value added and have more employees. We have 17, 18,000 employees between GMS and SRS today. I expect that to be 25, 30,000 employees in the future. So that means career opportunities. It means growth, it means wealth opportunities as we help combine with Home Depot to drive the Home Depot stock price up. All of our employees can be owners and buy stock in the company now through the employee stock ownership plan at Home Depot at a discount even. So there's a lot to like about being part of the whole Home Depot ecosystem. If you look at Home Depot's stock track record over the last 40 years, it's better than Apple. So for employees that want to be part of a company and have some opportunity to have wealth creation, not just on their salary or commission or bonus, but also through equity, huge opportunity. But I think the biggest thing is we're on the winning team. Everyone else is playing for second best. We do believe we will have the largest, and we already are the largest in the world at 170 billion. But we're not stopping. We want to build the largest building products distribution company in the world to go along with the retail and e-commerce leadership that Home Depot already has. But if you study the founders of Home Depot, there's two basic tenets, and nothing have to do with profit. They all have to do with high employee morale leads to good customer service. And if you focus on employee morale, you'll have great customer service, and then focus and do everything you can to just win with the customer. So the customer experience in the future, we'll have things like ship from best location where customers can order online or through a sales rep or through a tool from any of the divisions and could pick up at a whole myriad of different places or have it delivered to the job site from a whole myriad of different options. So we want to have the most efficient supply chain that's ever been built for all the subcontractor pros and the national home builder pros and all of the property owners and everything in between. So really out to change the industry significantly. And what's more fun than that, than being part of something transformative, not just every year we're just growing a little bit more each year.
I love it. Exciting to hear. JT?
Yeah. So again, anybody who hears that message, who's part of the team, it gets excited immediately, because what does being better for the customer mean? What does doing the right thing for the customer mean? Right? It means that if I'm in the business of serving customers, of which 95% of the team at GMS is sitting in front of the customer out in our yards, right? We've kept the business very lean from a back of house perspective. So 95% of the people are hearing, man, they're going to make my life easier because my customers are going to want to do more business with us, because we're going to make them want to do more business with us. We're going to earn their business at an even higher level than we do today. That just means rewards for our team, right? And again, we always talk about growing and winning together, right? We win when our customers win, right? And if we're better for our customers are getting more work. Our customers are able to give us more of their business as a result of the fact that we service them that much better. Then there's not a yard manager, a sales guy, a truck driver out there, right? A delivery team that isn't excited about having more to do and being rewarded for that. So again, it's very hard to hear the potential and not get excited.
Yeah, no, it is. It sounds amazing. Well, Dan, you brought up AI a couple of times now. Is that something you want to dive into? What are you guys doing with AI?
Yeah, we feel very excited about the AI Center of Excellence we stood up probably a couple of years ago. We feel like we have the best AI use cases already in flight than any other distributor that we know of, at least in the building product space. So we feel like we already have a market leadership position on that. We're already using it for tons of things, internally, externally facing. It's already helping our customers pick all the SKUs they're putting on an order. It's looking at millions of transactions and predicting what else they want on their orders and what they want on their templates. It's looking at all kinds of data to help customers interface with the company. And then we're using it for all kinds of product knowledge. It's basically the power of AI is just so amazing. It can do things humans just flat out can't do. So just being able to deploy use cases in a faster way. We've just doubled the size of our AI investment, and Home Depot's committed to spend even more than we have in the distribution arm. So I think you'll see it again through every customer touch point over the next 2 or 3 years where we will use it to make our employees more efficient, more knowledgeable, and solve pain points for our customers. And then also use it internally to just be way more efficient. I told all of our employees, we're not getting rid of a single employee because of AI, but every employee should be able to do 5 days of work. In 5 years, you'll be able to do 5 days of work in 2.5 days, which means you have 2.5 days of your work week to do other things that are way more fun than monotonous tasks and solve things for the customer, create and innovate and move the company forward. So we're super excited about this. We are not just talking about it like others in the industry that just talk about AI. We actually have got 10 to 12 use cases in flight. And we actually have a competition internally right now where 100 different use cases are being pitched to the senior leaders in a couple of weeks. And then we're going to pick from the best of those ideas. And those are mostly customer facing ideas, but a lot of them are how to just take cost out of the network, how to do things more efficiently, again, that we can then pass on to our customers. Because again, we feel it's our job to build the most efficient supply chain for those building America. And we all know cost of housing in this country is skyrocketed since COVID. And we need to do our part to develop a supply chain that can make an impact and make a dent in that cost for our biggest customers and help home ownership and home affordability in this country. So we feel like, who has more responsibility to do that than the largest supplier in the industry?
Well, it sounds exciting. Again, it's always amazing. It's always fun to hear the innovation that's going on. Well, this is a question for both of you guys. What's next?
Just more. We're not done. More branches, more salespeople, more customers, more investment in technology, more acquisitions, more verticals. We're not done with just exteriors, GMS, and our outdoor division. We plan to get bigger and broader. I tell people, they say, well, what products are off limits? I said, well, back when I was private equity back, there was a lot of products that were off limits. But now that Home Depot is our partner and our owner, I said, if it's sold through distribution and you could find it in a Home Depot store, it's not off limits anymore. So again, now what we're not looking to do is compete with our manufacturing partners. So do not look for us to go vertically integrated up to manufacturing, and do not look to us to get significantly vertically integrated down to compete with our contractors either. So we know what we are, and we're a wholesale distributor, and we're great at buying things in truckload quantity from our manufacturing partners and then getting it to the job site in needed quantity for the pro. That's our lane, but product wise, going much broader. Anything, again, like I said, that's sold. We're certainly focusing on residential, but commercial is super important as well long term. So we'll be in both sides. Single family, multifamily, and commercial projects are all part of the vision, and then a much broader product envelope for the future. But yeah, we're not going to slow down. We're going to use the free cash flow the company generates wisely and smart, but to go chase accretive acquisitions that are not only tuck-in and bolt-ons to GMS and SRS, but also new verticals as well that are completely a new vertical like a GMS.
Love it. JT, anything you want to add?
Yeah, we're underneath the SRS umbrella, so I'm going to just step it down a level here, be a little more tactical. We're going to find a way to execute against all those synergies that Dan talked about earlier and that we did. So we've got teams established already working across SRS primarily to try to find out how we're going to work together first. All that AI that Dan just talked about, right? I mean, they're way out in front of us when it comes to AI, so we've got this great opportunity to catch up in that respect, but a lot of other really cool, early wins that we can get from an integration perspective, and then stepping it up a notch. Also, just reiterating, the message that we're hearing. We got the foot on the accelerator. So we're going to be driving, our greenfield list. So if we have a list of 50 greenfields out there, we're always focused on it, but maybe we would execute 4 to 5. Well, we'll probably double that, right, over the course of the next 12 months. And then our M&A engine is already revved up. We've always been keeping it going, but I don't know if we were in fifth gear, maybe we're driving a Formula One car. It's got 12 gears in it now. I'm not sure how the hell we're going to go any faster, but we're going to figure it out because that's what we've been told to do. So we're going to go out there and get aggressive, and we're really excited about just going forward and going fast as part of this new family.
Well, it was really fun seeing the two of you together. When I was at GMS, I was kind of watching you from a distance, and I could just feel the energy as you guys were talking with each other. I could feel that there was some good, not just great energy, but I could feel the ideas going back and forth. I wanted to be a little bit closer to hear what was going on. But anyway, it was really exciting to see the two of you together. And
well, I'm glad you brought that up because it's important. I mean, I would tell you it's unheard of for a company like Home Depot to buy two CEOs like us, and we're still here. I mean, that just doesn't happen in business ever. You don't buy two mega companies, one $6 billion and one $10 billion, and the CEOs stick around to help the next chapter of the movie together. And, I always love the quote, there's no limit to what the company can do as long as we don't care who gets the credit. That's kind of the way I look at it, working with Home Depot, working with JT, working with our other leaders. It is such a nice environment here that everybody's working towards one common goal. It's not who's getting credit, whose fiefdom is this, or whose silo is this. It's, hey, we're one company with one fight, and we're going to do what's best for the customer and the associates. And we're just going to end up winning in the end, and everyone's going to win as a result. So it's refreshing to work with. And again, obviously, one of the reasons we were so attracted to GMS is because of JT and Travis and his whole management team. We had gotten to know and felt very comfortable. They were a great culture fit with Home Depot and SRS. So super excited. So it's going to be fun. But yes, JT's right. The accelerator is going to get mashed to the floorboard and get maybe stuck. But if it's any indicative of anything, the closing gift for this deal from SRS to GMS is going to be track shoes. So when they're all coming to Dallas, some of them coming to Dallas this week, and we're going to have to get them all fitted for track shoes so we can run even faster. They've been running fast. They've been running good with Nike tennis shoes, but we're going to get them some ultralight track shoes to run even faster. It's going to be fun.
I love it. So what's coming? So it was, again, Dan, it was great to see you at the GMS Expo, but what walls and ceilings trade shows will we be seeing you at moving forward? Will we see you at Build 25 at some of the shows for 2026?
Yeah, I think, I'll defer to JT on the ones that he wants to participate in, but I can tell you the one big news that I would say was we are going to probably for the first time exhibit alongside Home Depot at the International Builders Show, which is new.
Oh.
GMS has not traditionally done that. SRS is just new to that. And Depot has been, last year was their first year to exhibit, but we'll all be eventually, not in 26. SRS will be together with Home Depot Pro at the Builder Show in 26, but we will have a big event like you're used to us throwing at some of these trade shows. So we're going to have a huge customer and supplier partner party. I think we're going to have, in fact, you'll be the one to break the news, but I think we're going to have Leonard Skinner and Brooks and Dunn perform and have hopefully Ted and JT and I all on stage thanking hundreds of home builders and hundreds of supplier partners for their support of our future and what we're trying to build together. But yeah, one thing that's important to us is we continue to support all of our industry trade organizations. We think that's important, whether that be the roofing channel, the landscape channel, the pool industry, the gypsum, the lumber eventually, and all of the different channels. We want to support all of them, as well as the National Builders Show as well. We feel like we need to be present and support the industry and continue to do that for the long haul.
I love it. That's really exciting. And JT, I don't know. Do you think we'll see you at some roofing events because SRS and Home Depot is going to be there? I mean, what do you think?
I'll go wherever they invite me to go. So, but I won't feel slighted either if the decision is I shouldn't be in roofing yet. We got lots to do. We got lots to do on the GMS side. I mean, I laugh, again because we got a list as long as my right arm of all the great things we need to get done here in a very short period of time. So I might be a little busy, but again, Dan asked me to go somewhere. I'll probably go.
Well, I know you have a lot to do. There's no doubt about that. But it's kind of the family is expanding. So we always want to make sure that you're always welcome. And we'll be excited to see you and talk to you.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you both again for taking the time to send this great message out to the industries, both on the roofing side and the walls and ceiling side. Everyone's going to be excited to hear your voices. And again, just reiterate all the great news that's going on. But if anybody has any questions, where do they go? Which website is it still for? I guess let's start with GMS. What's your website, JT?
Yeah, we're still gms.com. And as Dan said, and we're still who we are. And also our subsidiary websites are out there. So most of our team knows that. And so they link back and forth to the corporate side. The investor relations piece obviously is gone. So now we have a new link there for just information. We used to send people to kind of investor relations for a lot of information. Now it's just, there's an information tab up there. So when people need to find us, they can go there first, or if they know our local subsidiaries, they can go right there and get everything they need that way online as well.
Yeah, I'd say for media inquiries are now going to funnel up to Home Depot, but for customers, they should keep going to the SRS site, the GMS site, the sites they've been going to forever. No plan to make that like one ubiquitous HD Pro site. We'll still have our uniquenesses because each of the industries are very different on how we serve those customers, and we have different competitors in every different vertical. So, and how we compete is very different in pool or landscape versus roofing versus the builder channel versus the gypsum side. So we need to preserve those uniqueness.
Sounds great. Well, thank you again, both of you, for your time. I know how busy you are. We're really grateful. And if anybody has any questions for us, it's roofingcontractor.com or wconline.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for all our free content, and especially follow us on all our social media channels so you can stay up to date and all the great interviews we are doing, just like we are today with Dan and JT. But stay safe and healthy, and we can't wait to talk to you soon. Thanks again, gentlemen.
Thanks, Jill.
Thanks, Jill.